Good evening, friends. Welcome. We are Reverend Claudia and Reverend Julie, and we are so delighted to spend some time with you this evening. Tonight, we're asking that you simply just sit back and enjoy the words, pauses, and invitations to be with intention. Let's begin tonight by setting a collective intention. I'll invite you first to check in with your body. Make yourself comfortable and grounded. You might close your eyes or lower your gaze and listen with an open heart. Tonight, in this Zoom space, let us settle into spaciousness and stillness with love and compassion. Let us be with possibility in the next hour and beyond our time here. Let us sit with courageous and curious presence, releasing anything to which we are craving or clinging. Let us sense and savor the presence of spirit. And let us trust in the power of our mindful, loving intentions for ourselves, for our families and friends, and for all beings in our divine and beloved cosmos.
What might it be like to live with intention, to focus on what is and what cannot be otherwise? What might we experience if we choose to give up a passive attitude toward our lives, a habitual attitude toward our lives, and measure ourselves in the flow of life instead? Living with intention doesn't mean turning into some strange control freak, eliminating all obstacles in the way of the plan. What it really means to me to live with intention is to allow some creativity, allow some movement, and allow ourselves to choose the path we tread when we go forward. Intention does point to choice, and choice really does matter. You know, I frequently use the words choice and intention and motivation as if they're interchangeable, but they are really quite different. Intention is the big focus. It's the big choice of where I want to go and what I want to do. And motivation is what supports that goal. It's my why. You know, for example, my intention is to exercise regularly and to meet lots of people in my community. And my motivation is what is behind that. So when I'm sweating it out on the treadmill, I might think, why am I doing this? The why, my motivation, is because I want to be healthy. I want to be fit. And that keeps me moving forward. It's my conscious focus on the bigger goal. A lot of people in our lives, we fall into habits of living. I know I do. When I make a cup of tea in the evening, for example, I reach for the tin of cookies. It's not because I'm hungry necessarily, but I have a habit of having tea and cookies at the same time. And that's just a silly way of looking at it. There are a lot of habits that are bigger than that can have more control over us. I can give up the cookie if I really wanted to. I used to have a big habit of going to the grocery store with my bags. You know, here in the city, you don't drive, you walk there. Get my groceries, come out with these huge bags full of whatever I bought, and just walk purposefully down the block, making sure not to look right or left because there's a homeless man that lives on the heating grate outside of the grocery store. And I made it my subconscious intention to just walk on by and not notice him. Consciously, I walked past him. My subconscious actually did know what I was doing. I was not happy with me. That's not up to my standards of behavior. Why am I ignoring this man? I can justify it saying, well, I'm in a hurry. My bags are heavy. It's awkward. You know, I have stuff. He has nothing. But it didn't feel good. And one day I made an intention to change that. I was going to stop, and I did. I stopped to talk to this man. and chatted with him and asked him if he's hungry and gave him some fruit from my abundantly filled bags and made my intention to stop and speak with him every time I go to that market, which I did. That was in line with my values, with my purpose. I felt good about that. I haven't changed his situation. I changed mine with intention. So I'm asking you tonight to start looking at your own lives and your own actions. Are you living out your truth? Are you in the flow of your life with your whole self? Sometimes we get busy with alcohol, with friends, with computers. We're busy, and we don't stop to investigate. So tonight we'd like to offer you some chances to investigate what's going on in your life. What do you need to look at your intentions? You need clarity. You need strength and courage. You need to choose to build your life and build your momentum. The wisdom of intention is a method for transforming your life and reaching your true potential and all the possibilities that lie before you. Finding the courage and the wisdom to say, this is who I am. This is what I want to do, utterly separate from what other people expect. This is about you. So tonight we want to invite you to sit with intention in this new way, with wisdom, mindful, a personal expression of all that you are, open and courageously reaching for what in life calls to you. What are the seeds that you want to plant in your life? We invite you to think on that.
Our intention creates our reality. Wayne Dyer.
The purpose of our lives is to give birth to the best which is within us. Marianne Williamson.
Open your arms to change, but don't let go of your values. The Dalai Lama.
A spiritual intention is a resounding yes to awakening to your fullest potential. Michael Beckwith.
Make your life a meaningful one. Sunday Adalaya.
Buddha of compassion, please hear my anguished words of truth. Karma, in an ocean of joy, they are drunk with demonic delusions. What is right and what is wrong? What is right and what is wrong? Bodhisattvas, an ocean of measureless qualities, let the might of your compassion arise to bring a quick end to the flowing stream of their blood and tears. Buddha of compassion, what is right and what is wrong? In an ocean of joy, what is right and what is wrong? Our most cherished and long felt desire. Buddha of compassion, please hear my anguished words of truth. What is right and what is wrong?
Friends, I'd like to try a little writing exercise with you now. So hopefully you have somewhere nearby a journal, a piece of paper, something to write on, pencil, pen. I'll give you a moment to gather your things. Okay. So what I'd like to ask you to do is please take your piece of paper and divide it into 3 columns with enough space so you can write in each of these columns. And in each column, make a list of numbers 1 through 5. Okay. So in the first column, I would like you to write a list of 5 beings that you love to spend time with. This is not an exhaustive list, okay? Just the 5 beings that come to you right now. This could be a person, it could be an animal, it could be a favorite tree, a plant, a rock, maybe a stream or the ocean. Whatever that being is, that lively being in your life that calls to you right now, please make a list of 5 of these important beings to you in that first column. I'll give you another minute to write, okay? Okay. Now, if you would, please turn your attention to your second column. And in this second list, I would like you to write 5 activities that you just love to do. Just thinking about it makes you happy. It could be walking, hiking, skiing, sleeping, bird watching, laughing, telling jokes, polishing your shoes, whatever it is that you can think of right now, 5 things that it just brings you joy to be involved with this activity. I'll give you a little time to write that. All right, great. So in the very last column, I'd like you to make a list of 5 sights or sounds or fragrances that you love, something that just transports you. It could be the smell of newly mown grass or the sight of a fox sleeping in the sunshine. It could be groups of children giggling or turtles swimming, choirs singing, the stars on a dark night. Just allow your mind to stretch out and offer some items for you to list here. Things that bring your senses alive, things you love. things that make you feel especially wonderful when you experience them. So I just want 5 of those. I'll give you a little time to write. Okay. Thank you so much for cooperating. So now I want to invite you to look at these columns, look at these lists, these things and these activities and these beings that you love. Really contemplate that list. And think about, what is it that made that small list? How often do you stop to really enjoy being with the beings that you love, or doing the activities that make you so happy? How often do you stop what you're doing and allow your brain to just be flooded with happiness? Maybe that certain scent that's so special and satisfying. Maybe it brings back memories of a happy moment in your past. Maybe there's a song that reminds you of summertime, or there's a sight that reminds you of a happy moment in your life. Or maybe it doesn't remind you of anything. It brings you joy in this very moment. This is just a small list, but it's a list of possibilities, of joyful moments that you can, if you want to, make some space for in your life. Our lives are definitely very busy and full of responsibilities. You know, we have jobs, we have families to care for, we have tasks that must be done. Totally understood. At the same time, would it be possible to find some moments of clarity, to find moments of peace, of self-care in the middle of all of this busy responsibility? Is there a way to make space for these generative moments, these glimpses, to stop and appreciate? You know, that old saying, stop and smell the flowers. We'll do that. Can we do that? Can we stop for a moment and just enjoy this 10 seconds of smelling that lovely flower, or playing with the dog, or sharing a hug with a loved one on any given day? And maybe there are some ways to build happiness from these lists into your day. After a few hours of working on the computer, would it be possible to take a walk outside and see the sky and the trees, hear the birds, feel the breeze in your hair? Maybe in the workplace, for those of us who are actually working in person again in the world, you could take a few moments to look out the window, or chat with a coworker, or perhaps sit and eat your lunch with mindful intention, really appreciating all the smells and the textures and the flavors of the food, considering the distances and all the hands that work to prepare that food to be in front of you as your lunch. And maybe we could have that moment of joyful appreciation. I'm someone, for example, who loves to people watch. In the pre-pandemic world, I used to love to sit in cafes, but now more often than not, I'm people watching on the subway when I'm going from one place to another. And I just love to watch and see how people are dressed, try and figure out the title of that book they're reading. I like to watch groups of friends who are chatting together and giggling while they're waiting to get to their station. I like to focus on that person in the corner who looks a little bit unkempt, who doesn't look well dressed, who doesn't look well washed, and just spend some moments sending my good intentions to that person and wishing for a good impact on their day. When I'm outside in the countryside, like this beautiful picture, I love to walk in the fields and the woods and smell the soil after the rain, smell the green scent of the hemlock trees, listen to ravens in the hemlocks, croaking or frogs chirping. Even if I don't have a lot of time to go anywhere, I like to do a practice from the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, may peace be upon him, where he invites us to really focus on whatever we're doing, even if what we're doing is washing the dishes. Notice, enjoy that sensory experience of putting our hands in the warm water, of the soap, the whisk of a sponge on the plate. It's a rich experience, that moment, if we make the intention to really focus on what we are doing. Imagine taking items from your lists, maybe a favorite person, and do a favorite activity. Do it together. How much richer that experience could be when it's shared. The opportunities really are endless if we challenge ourselves to pause and consider what we're doing and why. To take even a portion of the day and set aside an intention to use that portion in a generative way. It has the power to impact your life in so many positive ways. We invite you to explore how satisfying these activities can be if we are fully engaged. For right now, I'd like to invite you to sit for a few minutes and consider your list and consider the possibilities in your life. Perhaps also take this time to notice if you have a habit of resistance. Is there some reason that you get in your own way and don't allow yourself to enjoy these people and places and things? Why would you not find time for personal happiness? Can you set an intention for joy in your life?
We either live with intention or exist by default. Kristen Armstrong.
The meaning of karma is in the intention. The intention behind the action is what matters. Those who are motivated only by the desire for the fruits of the action are miserable, for they are constantly anxious about the results of what they do. The Bhagavad Gita.
Live with intention. Walk to the edge, listen hard, practice wellness, play with abandon, laugh, choose with no regret. Continue to learn, appreciate your friends. Do what you love. Live as if this is all there is. Marianne Rodmacher.
A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. Seneca.
Moccasin Flowers by Mary Oliver. All my life so far, I have loved more than one thing, including the mossy hooves of dreams, including the spongy litter under the tall trees. In spring, the moccasin flowers reach for the crackling lick of the sun and burn down. Sometimes in the shadows, I see the hazy eyes, the lamb lips of oblivion. Its deep drowse, and I can imagine a new nothing in the universe. The matted leaves splitting open, revealing the black planks of the stairs. But all my life so far, I have loved best how the flowers rise and open, how the pink lungs of their bodies enter the fore of the world and stand there shining and willing. The one thing they can do before they shuffle forward into the floor of darkness, they become the trees.
Friends, thank you so much for joining us tonight, for taking a few minutes to think about what intentions exist in your life. It's been wonderful to have you share this with us.
Thank you. Thank you for spending some spacious, still, musical, thoughtful, intentional time with all of us tonight. Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Be well.
Have a beautiful evening.
Good night, Claudia. Thank you.
Good night, Julie.